Hey everybody, today is day 21 and today's topic is caregivers. Now, as you guys know, I was grown when I got diagnosed with diabetes, and so I never had a parent or anybody to take care of my diabetes for me. It was always just mine. Edison is actually a lot of my caregiver. Now, he does help me out quite a bit with my diabetes. He smells my blood sugar all the time. It comes out through my pores and it's inside of me. He can smell it. He knows what it's doing about 30 minutes ahead of what my meter tells me. Now, the impressive thing about that is that I have 30 minutes to do something about it before it goes crazy. The other thing about that is I don't know which direction it's heading yet because we haven't gotten that far in its training. So we're waiting. And I have to wait until the meter catches up and tells me which way we're going, and then reward. Now, he gets high-value treats if he hits highs. So he gets things like these. These are little liver treats. He loves them. He'll get, these are a high-value treat for regular working things. If we're in the store and somebody's trying to distract him, he ignores them. He gets things like this. This is like extra yummy. These are like little moist cat treats. We also use crunchy cat treats, and these are like lower value. And then we use kibble also as a treat. And so he gets that while we're going through the store. And if he's doing things that he's supposed to, like he picks things up off the floor and puts them in the basket for me. He'll get things off the shelves and put them in a hand basket or give them to me. He picks up his own leash and hands it back. He does know over 60 different commands, and he has been owner trained by myself, with the help occasionally of a trainer if we run into any problems or anything. We have a local trainer that specializes in service dog training, and so we do talk to her and get a few lessons here and there when we need some help, because, nobody's perfect. We need help too. So when he actually hits a low, is when he gets the biggest jackpot ever, and he loves them. He loves to get these little things of wet cat food. They're about the size of like an applesauce container, and they're like wet cat food with gravy in it, and he adores them. So these are really handy. I carry one with me in my purse all the time. I have one by my bed. I have them here in the kitchen, and I have one in my sugar bucket. Now, Edison is trained to open doors, close doors, drawers, cabinets, the fridge if I attach something to there, but he tends to leave that just a little cracked, so we had to take that off because he didn't shut the door all the way. But this is my sugar bucket, and if I am low and I'm in bed, he will actually crawl over me and lay on top of me to let me know that I shouldn't be getting up right now, because if I hit certain numbers, he's trained for 50 and below. If I'm 50 and below, he will jump to bring me down to the ground and lay on top of me for a moment. This is called deep pressure therapy. But for him, it's just a sign to let me know, get across my body, lay down for a minute, and be like, no, you shouldn't be up walking anywhere. And then at that point, to get him to release that, I tell him, go get sugar. Now, when he goes and gets sugar, he comes into the kitchen, and we have that white cabinet that you see that has the dog toy hanging from it. Now, that contains my sugar bucket. Inside my sugar bucket, you can see it has just this old towel wrapped and taped very lovely on there. But that's because the little handle here would get stuck in between his teeth, and he couldn't let it go. It was annoying for him. So we wrapped it in a towel, but it has another one of his deliciousness for lows. And then just like a candy bar and some Airheads. I like M&Ms for overnight because they have the peanuts in them. If you get peanut M&Ms, because the chocolate burns you up and the peanuts keep you overnight. I like that. It has the protein in there. If it's early, caffeine, and then a little one if I need a part of one. So I go ahead and have all this stuff, and it's always all ready. And when I run out of anything in here, I replace it, and it stays in there. And when I tell him to go get sugar, he will open up the cabinet, get this out. Sometimes he closes the cabinet, sometimes he doesn't. And brings it to me in my bedroom or wherever I happen to be at. That way I can treat my low, and he gets to eat his treat. So, and things like this take a very long time. It's a lot of little things to teach to get all together. He also knows a lot of his commands are like directional commands. He knows his left from his right. He turns, like if we're in the store and I say turn right, then he'll just turn right. But if I want to make like a U-turn, I say turn right, turn. And the more times I say turn, the further the turn goes. So we can go all the way in a circle. And just by saying turn, and he'll just keep turning. He also knows things like switch. So that's switching from side to side, behind, go around. He knows like center to come between my legs, or 6 to turn and face backwards, just so if we're taking up too much space that I can get him underneath me, so we're only taking up this much space instead of 2 people's spaces. He knows to go between things, to go under tables, to go under my legs, in and out of the car. He can go up and down a slanted ladder. We're working on getting a vertical ladder, but he can climb up and down slanted ladders, ramps, tunnels. We've done a little bit of like agility style work just to help with any fears. So he crosses bridges, like swinging bridges and stuff like that. He has, like I said, over 60 commands, so he knows a lot. And we've worked really hard since he was a puppy. And I mean, like 8 weeks old, I tested him and his litter mates and picked him out of everybody. And we started training then. Like, we didn't train a lot of the big ones, but, you know, all the basics that you would teach even your pet, you know, potty training, sit for meals, you know, not jumping, bite training. Like, if your puppy mouths a lot, getting them not to, because you don't want a puppy that nips. Getting them to chew on appropriate toys, not your furniture or shoes, socks, things like that. You know, all the basic just puppy work started then. But we had a few little things that we did for service work. At this time, we also put like little hunting vests on him and shirts and baby socks just to kind of desensitize him. We worked with head harnesses, things like that, putting hats on him and all sorts of like just getting things on his body, off his body, things like that. And he never, for some reason, enjoyed a service dog vest. I can do shirts, I can do bandanas, socks, hats, but it's something about the stiffness of it, I guess, or where it sits particularly and the weight is placed, but he hates vests. So we're still working on that one. And, you know, they're not perfect. They're not robots. Every dog is a dog, whether it's a highly trained service dog or a police dog or a rescue dog. All these dogs are, at the end of the day, a dog. And they all do have time to be dogs. I mean, we don't work them around the clock. I know Eddie does alert pretty much around the clock, but for him, it's fun. It's a game. It's a way to get the one treat that he doesn't get any other way. And if he wakes me up from sleep, he gets 2 of them. So then he gets really excited, you know? So it's fun for him. The rescue dogs, it's a game. They don't understand that there's a life at risk. That's their game. They get the big prize when they find them in the snow. That's so cool, you know? It's something that's very fun for them. And Edison adores to work. You can see it when we get his shoes on. He goes and stands over by the baby gate that we keep by the stairs. And so, since we have that gate there, he goes and stands there because he knows that we're leaving. And he's even trained to where whenever he's standing there, you tap his foot twice like a horse and he'll pick his foot up so you can put his shoes on him. And so he's really good about going out and working. He loves to go and work. He enjoys it. And the day that he's no longer happy to go to work, then I'll not work him anymore and I'll start training another dog. But for now, Edison is my buddy and he helps a ton. He helps me so much, it's not even funny. So just, if you guys see a service dog out and about, don't make goofy faces at it or call it a puppy and like, oh, puppy, puppy, oh, look, there's a puppy. And don't try to get your kids to be like, oh, look, there's a dog, there's a dog. Because, I mean, we're not really a spectacle. I know it's a dog in a store and that's not something you see all the time, but just be like, it's a dog, and then move on. Because, I mean, I do understand that he's adorable. He is the cutest freaking thing ever. But on the other side of that, I hear that all the time. And sometimes it gets a little tiring. And it gets a little frustrating. And sometimes I don't even want to go to the store just because I don't want to deal with people. And sometimes I do leave him at home just because I don't want to deal with everybody being like, oh, it's a dog. Look at the dog. Look at the dog. Look at the dog. Oh, he's got shoes on. He's got shoes on. Yes, he has shoes on. He has shoes on because he doesn't need to step in bubble gum or glass or thumbtacks or the pavement be too hot and burn his paws or the ice melt be out and give him chemical burns or just all the same reasons that you wear shoes or you put shoes on your kids. Like, it makes sense that he's wearing shoes, and they even sell shoes at Walmart if you would like to train your dog to do that. I started out with baby socks. Helps. But, I mean, they are dogs. They are adorable. But please treat us with people respect. I mean, we're people. And we love these animals, and we enjoy having them in our homes. But they're here to help us be able to manage some of these things that are so difficult to manage. And when you make all this fuss about it, it makes it hard for the dog, who is just a dog, to pay attention to what they're supposed to be doing and to do their jobs. So don't get them fired. Don't get them in trouble because you're trying to distract them. It's not that we think you're trying to be mean, but then we have to get on to the dog because the dog has to focus on us. So as soon as it looks at you, you get all excited. Oh, they looked at me. But then the dog gets in trouble. And that's not so fun for the dog. So we need to be respectful of dogs at work and people that are just trying to get through their day. Because, I mean, I've got the dog and I've got the kids. And sometimes just that one person like yelling at me from across the store, can I pet your dog? And then everybody turning and looking at me. It's just a little too much when I'm trying to just manage my disease and manage my day and get my grocery shopping done and not have my kids touching everything in the store and not forget anything. And it's just as difficult as it is for everybody else. But then the added of having this, because just going grocery shopping makes my blood sugar fluctuate. And without insurance having CGMs covered, that's something that's unavailable to me. They consider a CGM a continuous glucose monitor. That's a wearable device that it gives you a blood sugar alert every 5 minutes, and it lets you know what your blood sugar is doing. So without a device like that, and them only allowing a certain number of test strips, I don't have the ability to manage my disease as it needs to be managed. So I need something else that can help me in real time, which is Edison. And that's how I can manage to get decent blood sugar numbers a lot of the time. It's because he does let me know if there's something going wrong. I can check and I can adjust as I need to. If this wearable device was available to me, then as much as I love Edison, I would use the wearable device instead of taking my dog with me everywhere. Now, he does help me with other problems that I do have, so I would take him with me some places, but I wouldn't need him as often as I do, just because the diabetes is another thing that he helps me manage. So, although I do adore him, and I do appreciate all the work that he does for me and all the help that he gives me, if I had other options to manage these diseases and manage these disabilities, then I would I would be doing those just because of all the extra attention and all the extra public outburst that we receive just from being in a store or in a restaurant and living our lives. And so please be kind to the service dog handlers out there. And if you see a dog acting like obviously crazy, then go ahead and mention it to management. Be like, hey, there's a crazy dog over there. And then just walk on. You know, you don't have to be like, you're not a service dog. But like, you know, because that kind of stuff is very unsafe for Edison. If there's a crazy dog out there and it happens to jerk the leash out of the person's hand and comes after Edison, then that can take him out of his job from going in public, period. Because he could become afraid of other dogs. And if he becomes afraid of other dogs, then he can't do his job anymore. And that would be sad because I worked really hard to get him to this stage so far. It's been a lot of work. He's had hundreds of hours of training. These dogs are highly, highly, highly trained. So please don't take your pet in those stores that say like service dog only or no pets allowed, because dogs like Edison train a long time in order to be allowed to go into these places and to have access. And so it really does put a detriment on service dog handling teams that would like to do these things. Like when we went to the pumpkin patch, you know, we were very respectful of where we were at. We were very careful not to frighten their animals just because their animals were prey animals, and Edison, being a dog, is more of a, you know, predator type item. So, you know, we are kind, and we make sure that we represent the service dog community positively. But if people abuse that, then those privileges will be taken away. And right now, we have them. So we need to protect them and make sure that we're doing everything that we need to do. And service handling teams can't always do that if the public isn't helping us also. And that just comes from doing your part and being kind and respectful and not causing a scene of it. Because we're just trying to get through our day just like you are trying to get through your day. And we really do appreciate it when we can just go through the store and make it through the day. And it really does help us out. It helps our dogs out. It helps everybody out. So let's just get it done and appreciate the fact of how amazing these dogs are. Like, I think it's amazing that he can do the things that he does for me. He is so intelligent and so easy to train. It's crazy. And I am so grateful for everything that he's done for me and to help me up to this point. And so hopefully we have many, many more years of this amazing partnership with this big fuzzy beast that I have. So we will talk to you tomorrow about a new topic on day 22. Don't forget the Fighting Flamingo gear giveaway. And come back and see us. Enjoy some pictures of Edison, huh? Bye, guys.